Good evening. Right, okay. So, I got my timings a little bit wrong, so might as well start now. Good evening. Welcome in. How is everyone? It is Wednesday. We've got through the middle of the week. There's just 2 more days to go till the weekend. Friday, that's virtually the weekend, so that doesn't count. That means that Thursday's really Friday. So realistically, we're more than just through halfway through the week. We're at the weekend already. So let's celebrate with a little bit of Darmstadt, I think. With a little bit of Darmstadt. Welcome in, everyone. Thank you all who have just come over from the premiere. We just had the beginning of a new series over on YouTube, which is going to be called Counterclass. The idea is that we're going to look at very, very specific games. So your bogey teams, that manager that you can never quite get one over, your Marco Rosas, your Unai Emerys, or in my case, Jonas Rantanen of Ilves. So that was over on YouTube just a little bit ago, and we're now starting the stream straight from there. So if you haven't checked it out, you will have seen that Johnny has activated the counter command, and there's a link there. I'll pop it along as well at various intervals during the course of the... In fact, can I pin it from here? I can't pin it from here. There we go. Yeah, welcome in. It's lovely to see you guys. Now, we have a little bit of Viva in. Lovely to see you, Viva. How are you doing? XCV Mika is in as well, who's just got Villa their 2nd Champion League after beating Barcelona as well. Incredible work. Fantastic. We've got a lovely little bit of DM basis. He's got a margarita pizza on the way, which is a fine, fine choice. Johnny Trotter's in. Zeratrul's in as well. We've got CBLH Sassavota. Lovely to have you, my dude. Lovely to see you in. We have just a little bit of Eunice Gaming in. How you doing, my man? How are you, sir? There is Johnson. We've got El Norby as well in. We've got Jamie FM in as well. Welcome in, my dude. I hope you're doing very, very well. Thank you very much for doing the honours there, Johnny. Yes, so you've got the links for the latest public release of the Mustermann skin there. Now, if you are interested in getting any of the offshoots, the things that I use in streams or in videos, you can sign up to the Patreon. However, I will point out that anything that isn't publicly released is generally only optimized for a single resolution, which is then clearly marked. Welcome in, by the way, Medical Car. Lovely to see you, my dude. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, let's catch up with where we're at, shall we? So it's been a pretty decent season so far. Let's head on over here. Still don't understand why it takes moments there. We are currently sitting in 8th, which is remarkable, to be honest. 20 games in, we've got 14 games remaining. We've scored less than a goal per game. We also, however, have the 3rd best defence in the league, which is kind of propping us up. And we are now just 3 points behind 6th and a chase for Europe. We are only 9 points behind 2nd. Which, whilst that doesn't sound like much, it's also worth noting that 9 points is also the difference between us and like 12th or 13th. So, as much as we might put our eyes that high up the table, we've also got to be aware that looking further down is very, very plausible too. With the fight, we do have RB Leipzig have a game in hand, so we can expect them to perhaps get away from us. And there is a little bit of a gap between us and 6th, so it's going to be a huge, huge ask. But we're tough to beat, and that's surely the most important thing. We can make sure that we're in with a chance of doing well. And so these are the games that we've got coming up this evening. We start off with a game against FC Köln, bottom of the table. Then we've got a less easy game away against Leipzig, before a couple of home games against lower half teams. Wolfsburg and Augsburg are very winnable games, as is arguably the away game against Heidenheim. And the less said about the game against Frankfurt and Stuttgart, the better. We don't need to worry about them. Those games aren't important, right? So we should be in a reasonable shape. We're kind of okay from a fitness perspective. Since Monday, I have moved the game forwards until the next game. So we moved the game forwards a whole week. During that time, Tim Muller picked up yet another injury. He's going to be out for about a week. Picked up during the friendly game. But otherwise, we are almost back to full fitness. Keenan Davis, who came in on loan to cover for the injured Ellis Sims, got injured. He's almost back. Everyone else is available, which is brilliant. We've also made another transfer signing in that week. I thought I'd go back through and see whether there are any interesting players available in the summer on a free transfer. Again, not necessarily all that worried about whether these players are a position of need. If we can look to upgrade a position, just generally speaking, that means that we can then look potentially to sell some of the players that may be on the fringes, and that can inform a little bit of what we're going to do. And so that's kind of the plan. So we bought in Johan Hove is going to be coming in the summer. Adam Asnu is going to be coming in the summer. We have someone else coming in the summer, which we will a backup goalkeeper as well. But our new arrival is going to be 32-year-old Tosin Adarabioyo. So Adarabioyo is currently at Villarreal, where he is playing regularly at centre back. He's winning 84% of his tackles, 72% of his headers, which is pretty decent. He's reasonably safe on the ball, get quite active in terms of pressuring players, so it's stepping up out of the defensive line. He's come in for, I think we've got him for 26.5k per week. So just above our average wage, which is fantastic. Should come in as a starter, excellent in the air, really capable in position. So we're feeling quite good about that. 32-year-old comes in with experience. He is a little bit injury prone, so we do need to be aware that that's going to be something we need to manage. But I think that he improves what we've got going on, which should be really cool. So there we go. That's going to be that. Now, we do have a mini game redeemed. Lukmar has redeemed a mini game, so we're going to go and do that before we head into the first match tonight. So let me just say here. So Jons has answered the big question. So for me, that's a thing that very much depends on the player. Some players respond better to good old bollocking, while some need more encouragement. And so the big question is, do players struggle with criticism, or is Ten Hag a dinosaur? You may or may not have seen that Ten Hag has done an interview with his management company. Bit weird to do an interview with your management company where you're going to slag players off, but there we are. Ten Hag hasn't struck us, generally speaking, in the last year or two as the brightest of fellas. And he's basically said players of his generation were much more resilient, and modern day players can't handle criticism, and it's unfair, and boo hoo hoo, the world's changing, woe's me. I think you can get where I stand on this issue. But I'd love to know what you think. Do you think that players are too reactive and responsive to criticism? Or do you think that maybe we're now in a position where people have realised that you can turn around and say, hey, wait a moment, don't be a dick, even if it is to your manager? So yeah, what do you think? Love to know. Lukmar says, calling it now, reckon it's going to be a loss against Köln, a draw against Leipzig, an undeserved win against Wolfsburg. That seems very much on brand for what we've been doing, so I think that's reasonable. Cortiba's in. Welcome in. How are you? You could have headed to the beach, but I'm here watching the stream. No, head to the beach. Definitely choose the beach over that. Love to have you in, by the way. Love to have you in. So what are the temperatures like right now? So it's almost 40 degrees centigrade. That is incredible. Right, so Jamie Carragher official is in. You've just made an account on Twitch because I've been told that it's good by a few of my mates. I don't really know what I'm watching, but I'm happy to be here. Well, lovely to have you in, my dude. This is a little bit of Football Manager, but before we get there, we're going to play a little round of Guess the Player. Now, if you're not familiar with how Guess the Player works, I'll explain the rules. You're going to see 4 pictures of a player's profile in Football Manager 24. You're going to see the positions that they play, the attributes, the scout report, and then their playing history, one after the other. Your job is to guess who the player is. The earlier you guess, the more points you get. The more points you get, you end up on that lovely little leaderboard down underneath me there. Couple of things to be mindful of. This is based on the vanilla database in Football Manager 24, so the most recent one that was official, at the start of the game. So if you take a player like Joshua Zirkzee, for example, he's currently at Man United, but at the start of FM24, he was at Bologna. So just something to keep in mind. With that, let's head on over to the very first clue. We have got, it says that he's an advanced playmaker. His primary role, 3 stars, advanced playmaker, but also He is pretty good at everything, apart from maybe being a ball-winning midfielder. El Norby suggesting that Jamie Carragher should have said nicer things about Szoboszlai. That's a fair thing to point out there. Thomas is in. Welcome in. He's in the don't be a dick category. Good to hear. Good to hear. DM Basis says, social media has allowed football fans to become horrible, insufferable C-words towards players, which is something previous generation of players simply didn't have to deal with. A very, very fair point. Coratiba's come in with an early guess. We've got guesses going in for Jean-Pierre Pepin, Nicholas Raskin, Jamie Carragher, David Fratesi, Enzo Leopold, Rodrigo Bentancur, and Julia Brandt. All fantastic guesses. Say It Loudly says, he has a part of truth on his side. I know someone was managing children's group at Inter Milan. He said the mental health awareness these days are playing bigger part in managing players now. I would say that is a very, very good thing. Being aware of how your actions can impact others is probably something that managers should be actively involved in. You cannot kick kids' ass nowadays like it was 30 years ago, or saying F off all the way and expecting he will prove. Yes, and I think it's very, very fair to say that it's a good thing that you can't kick kids. I know what you meant by kick ass. I'm not actually suggesting you said to kick kids, so I do apologise there. Right, El Norby has guessed Szoboszlai. Zeratrul's come in with Bissouma and Kalanoglu. Coratiba's gone for Zerabli. We've got Sabitzer. We've got Hidakuti as well. I'd love it to be Hidakuti. That would be a nice curveball. It is none of those players, I'm afraid. This is the player's profile. 6'1", likes to run with the ball through the centre. Excellent teamwork. Excellent stamina. Weaknesses wise, he's not very aggressive. Not great in the air. Can't throw the ball. Long throws atrocious. Probably not worth signing with long throws of 5. Not so great at marking or tackling otherwise. So we've got some more guesses coming in now, which is Enzo Lafay, Manuel Ugarte. Some fine, interesting guesses there. I'm guessing that Ugarte is better defensively than that, surely. Could it be Wataru Endo or John McGinn? Interesting. It is neither of those players. So what else is he quite good at? He's good at passing, good first touch, good at dribbling, good natural fitness, quite agile as well. Work rate and vision is up there, which is quite nice. Could it be Scott McTominay or Ruben Loftus-Cheek? It is neither of those, I'm afraid, unfortunately. It's not Nicolas Basilli, the Roma youngster. It's not Macro Asensio. I like... sorry, that's unfair. Easy spelling mistake. Dougie Louise. Could it be Dougie Louise? Could it be Kefren Turam or João Mario? Coratiba thought of Coquelin, but not with that stamina. Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. Right, so Johnson Palacios is a fine guess as well. It's none of those players, I'm afraid. Let's move on over, see what the scout report has to say. This is a regular starter who could still improve, a leading Serie A player, and Coratiba has come in with Ederson. Now, Ederson is definitely a player who could still improve, and quite possibly a leading Serie A player. But it's not Ederson, I'm afraid. Nor is it Fernandinho. Could it be Garcia from Leverkusen, whatever his first name is? That would be Alex, I'm guessing, the former Girona player. It sadly isn't. Hungdamin says, regarding your new video, I'm so sad specific man marking does not work in FM24. It does, but you need to adjust a lot around it, which is a bit of a shame. So could it be Loftus-Cheek or Barella? It is neither of those, I'm afraid. It doesn't Ederson play in goal for City. That's a fair point. I'm thinking of Emerson. So could it be Paul Warhurst? What a throwback reggae boy. Right, Coratiba's gone for Coop Miners. We've got for Elmas, Guendouzi, Kamada, Tijani Reinders, Paul Ince, Adam Wharton, Arthur, Coop Miners again, Krunic, Bove, all fantastic guesses. And then sneaking in at the end there is Locatelli. I can tell you that someone's got it right. Someone has got it right. And the person who's got it right is the person that has picked up on the Dutch player currently at Milan. Well, the Dutch player at Milan. It is indeed a fantastic 2 points making their way to Hungdamin. Beautiful serve it is, of course, Tijani Reinders. I love Reinders. Like, what a player. What a player. It's like how quickly he's risen as well. Like his breakthrough at AZ and then like bosh straight over into Milan, settled in immediately. Incredible player. Absolutely incredible player, and some fantastic work there, Hungerman. So that's some applause from Johnny Trotter, from Zerachul, from Medical Car, from DM Basis, twice from El Norby. Very, very much deserved. Beautiful, beautiful work. Right, we can now head on into the game. We're going to play at home against bottom of the table Cone. Lukmar is predicting that we will draw, and or lose even, sorry. And I think that's quite plausible given our general form. Right, now bear in mind, so say it loud, he said, what happens today in social media? It was on the dressing room 20 to 30 years ago. My manager used to kick us or throw some shoes, not stopping swearing, and we were all normal. That was normal then. Fear. And that is not cool. Say it loudly. That's part of the reason why it's good that those things are not allowed. Eunice, unfortunately missed the first mini game. You did indeed. I'm sorry to say, Eunice. Yeah, we just completed, but then there are plenty more throughout the stream. Right, here's the squad that we've got for the game coming up. We're going to start with 2 up top. Just let's try and get back into let's get into the swing of doing that more regularly, if we can. We are up against a 4-2-3-1, so the defensive midfielder, we've added mark-specific player back on now that we're up against an attacking midfielder. A single striker, so we've got main centre-back, 2 guys on cover. I've changed Schiffel to be just a central defender rather than a ball-playing defender. We will look to probably swap Skitter and Essa around during the course of the game, but all our attacking midfielders are kind of in a pretty rough time in terms of form. So Skitter's 6.6, Roman Essa 6.58, Clinton 6.58. But we did have some good performances out of the 3-5-2, so hopefully that can be enough to kind of see us through from here. So yeah, let's head in. Let's get straight to the game. We are gonna win. We're gonna win. We're gonna be positive here, and we are going to do. Let's talk about fans. Let's tell them that they need to perform. That doesn't bode well. No one responding again. We've lost the dressing room. We've lost the dressing room already. So Kotib says, if you play for Darmstadt and you score like crazy, come on Selke, score a goal. If you play for Darmstadt and you score like crazy, come on Selke, score a goal. I mean, the words fit in the sentence for sure. Rangers needs a break. He's carrying Milan so hard. A strong agree there. Strong agree. El Norby says, congratulations, a United supporter got some points at last. I mean, maybe there'll be some more Man United points coming this evening as Andre Brooks opens the scoring. Darmstadt, scoring like no tomorrow. Darmstadt, the goals are here. That's a pretty good start, right? Right, Brooks out in acres of space, drives into the box, fires it low, takes a deflection that kind of wrong foot Schwaber, and we're 1-0 up. Happy with that. Happy with that. So say it loudly, of course, was not good. Happy that changed. Probably we need 20 to 30 years for social media abuse to change too. You've got to hope. I mean, sadly, I have a feeling that you are right. It's going to be a long road until societal behaviours change in that regard. But dear God, I hope it's not going to take 20 to 30 years. So Lukmar says to the big question, it's the way of the world. Older generation complains about younger generation being soft or some other nonsense in order to feel more at ease with your own childhood traumas and setups. So Stavi Selka, oh my word. Devi, come on, Devi's the answer. Because you may be a striker and you score for Darmstadt. Devi Selka. What a header. What a header. What a header. That'll do nicely. That's his 8th goal of the season. He could be in line for double figures before he retires, which would be nice. Do Köln have some way of responding here? They are looking to build it up. Plays into Ollison. Ollison's going to try and create space to cross. He can't, so he goes back to Ojashin. Across his heads Hussein Basic. It's a good save from Sihinovic. So, sorry, let's get back to what Lukmar was saying there. It's an order, they accusing younger generations of being soft, kind of a way of being more at ease with your own trauma, hang-ups. It's a tale as old as humans. Isn't it just? Bizarrely, the previous generation was always worse than the current generation, but the next generation are always also somehow worse than the current generation. It's amazing how everyone happens to just be in the perfect generation and that every other is wrong. So, we're going to qualify for fucking Europe. We are doing, well, maybe. As it started to be a little bit of more play for Colm there. So we'll just ask players to focus a little, see if that makes a difference. Doesn't look to. We've got another chance perhaps for... it's head tennis time. Oh my word, someone get the ball on the floor. Thank you, Schmidt. Although maybe go back to heading. Heading was better than that pass. This is a classic game so far. Some real good quality going on. Although Mbamba does get past his man. Selka plays it out wide to Rashidi. Rashidi's going to feed Skitter. Nathan Skitter's in behind and he's hit the post from like 4 yards. Oh, Skitter. It was on his weaker foot in fairness, but oh man. Look, Mar, what is that defending? Cologne asleep or what? I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. Mbamba looks to make it 3. It's a good save from Schwaber. Right, Deshaun, I'm using your skin, and I was wondering if the players in area option in the scouting tab there. Right, okay, so if you're using one of the stream skins, it's not there. You will have to go into the sidebar sections file and remove things. If you pop on over to the SI forums, Sports Interactive Forums, where the skin is, and you search the term player search in the thread for the skin, you'll get the instructions for changing it. Obviously, whilst I'm on stream, it's a little bit difficult for me to bring them over as it currently is. So that's going to be able to get that answer to you the quickest. Right, Mike is in. Welcome in, my dude. How you doing? Selka, Darmstadt's Chris Wood. Isn't he just? Isn't he just? The man is a god. DM Basis is going to cry when he retires at the end of the season. You and me both. You and me both. What a legend he's been. And to think he was our 4th choice. Right, can Colm get a goal back before the break? It looks like it. In behind is Muslia. That's an awful miss. We have been very, very passive in the last 15 minutes or so of the half. If we get a third, it would probably be quite undeserved. Although Selka should really finish there. Somehow closer to the corner flag than really it should have been. So in terms of momentum, we have seen, okay, it's not quite as sustained for them there, but we have had a flurry of chances from Colne since we went 2-0 up. So let's have a look at what they've done. They haven't ostensibly changed much. Doesn't look like much has happened in terms of the roles. They're all kind of still the same offset level. So we're going to say, I'm very happy. I'm not very happy, but I'm going to say it anyway. And we've told, one of the other things I've done is I've told the wing-backs to dribble less so that they don't lose the ball quite as often. However, they've got both their both their full-backs booked, so we're going to try and dribble more at them now. See if that can maybe draw a foul out of them. Am I going to double up on defensive midfielders? No, I'm going to pop you on hold position. I'm going to ask you to be more of a playmaker-y type. We're doing it from the others. Yeah, we're doing that. So slightly more playmaker-y. That means that Mbamba can now take the marking responsibilities on Schmidt. Just see if we can kind of hold, just dictate things a little bit more. Control it, kill the game off a little. Let's drop that tempo as well. Oh, actually, we can bring the passing directness down. We did move that up for the Dortmund game, which is why it's there. Davy is the answer. Davy is most definitely the answer. FMG&G's in. Welcome in, my dude. How are you, sir? I hope you are doing well. If you guys aren't following G&G, you most definitely should. Now, I say that I know I've said this before. I need to get some links set up for YouTube because, yes, go and follow G&G over on Twitch. But actually, go and follow him over on YouTube because his current series is absolutely brilliant. Definitely worth a watch. So off topic, Say It Loudly asks, if Arsenal lose today and Liverpool win, is the title played? Almost certainly. I mean, I think the title is pretty much done anyway now. Right, here comes Selka. Back to Rashidi. Rashidi's going to play it inside. He's now free. Can he get the cross? And he can. And SE's shot's over. At least though, that's good. We've had a chance. That's it's okay. We can see that Cologne are kind of getting a bit of a foothold in the game. That said, I don't think we've seen any chances from the second half. We haven't. Right, time to start making some changes. It's going to be goal scorer Davy Selke off because he's tired. And we're going to push Skitter up front and bring in Linson as well. Right, let's push that tempo back up. Let's try and see if we can get maybe a third goal, make ourselves feel a little bit more secure. So Cortiba's trying to write a song for Brooks using Second Guessing by REM. I don't think I know that one. I can't think of... I'll be honest, my REM knowledge is pretty poor. It is a shameful thing to admit. But I've never really known beyond... what's the album? I think I've only got Monster, which says all you need to know, really. Quite embarrassing. Right, one more change. Bring on Nürnberg for Brooks. So because Muller's injured, I wanted to make sure that at least one of my... we had been playing both Nürnberger and Brooks, who are our backup cover at left back. But I wanted to have one of them on the bench in case one gets injured, essentially, which is why we went with Garrido and Mbamba at the heart of our midfield for today's game. Right, Rashidi plays it forward. Here's Linson, takes it down on his chest, has to go back to Schmidt. Plays it out to Nürnberg. He feeds Skitter. Schmidt, lots of making progress and then moving backwards. But now here we go. Nürnberger is going to try and play the lovely little cross in. It doesn't make it there, but Rashidi is here, and Rashidi's shot is kind of embarrassing. Bless him. Right, Arthur, Cone, chance now to maybe make it a nervy ending. Sends it along. Wimmer gets it clear. Bahoya gathers, and Bahoya's going to play it out to Fatahu. Fatahu's going to run down the left, sends the cross in. Al Sharani's header, and that is 2-1. Right, let's tell the players we need to focus. Right, Fatahu, Sims there. Rashidi's very late coming back. Didn't really get involved whatsoever. So I think that's his last contribution of the game as well. So let's pop you down, both of you onto support. Let's bring on Anton Guy there. Let's look to time waste. We'll bring that tempo back down as well. And the final change is going to see Bamba on for off and Mousehounden. There we go. Right, so Lukmar says there are surviving sources of people complaining about the younger generations reading too many books and novels in the past century, thus losing touch with reality. Adults will always find something to disenfranchise young people. I agree with you 100%. Right, Gay with a very cynical foul just pushes him off the ball, and this is a chance for Cologne to get a late equaliser. They've sent the keeper up. Muslia sends the cross in. We get it clear. Schiffel can gather. Can Schiffel do something incredible here? He doesn't. He plays it to Nürnberg instead. Nürnberger, get the cross in, my lad. It's come through. We can't quite get a finishing touch on it. Garrido. Stupid pass. Al Sharani now. Chance to come away. Him up against Wimmer. It is Wimmer. Wimmer can't stop the cross. Guy gets it behind. Oh, that was dumb. That was very dumb. Right, Geiger with the corner. Swings it into the far post. Hubers can't get there. Guy collects. We've got... It's... Cool, blow the whistle. Blow the whistle, ref. You've blown the whistle. Get in. Right, there's the start. There's the start we needed. Wait for SV Darmstadt. Spam the golden motion. You can feel it every week. Mustard rejoices. Free your mind and join us. Gonna win the fucking league. We're gonna win the fucking league. Up to 6th. Sure, Leipzig and Gladbach have games in hand, but we don't need to worry about that. That's they're definitely going to lose their games in hand. That's how games in hand work, right? good result. Davy Selke up to 8 goals for the season. We can be pretty happy with that. And then our next game's away against Leipzig. Nice and easy. Right, okay, so Deshaun, I don't know if you've seen, but over on Twitter, Johnny Trotter has given the link for the thread over on the SI forums as well there. So Ten Hag is a dinosaur, says El Norby. Ten Hag is a dinosaur. All right, Dan Basis says, this is why I love attributeless Moneyball saves. We'd never have signed Selke in a traditional save, and we'd never have had this lovely little story with him. Exactly. Without, like, the whole attributeless type of play, that's not specific to me. I think the first time I saw one of the skins for it was the Danny Dots one about 4 or 5 years ago. And it opens up a completely different set of players that you look at, which I think is really, really nice. And being able to build those stories and those virtual relationships with players is so nice. So like, that's what FM is about, right? It's about the stories and the saves that you remember. Right, Root is in. Welcome in, my dude. I hope you're doing well. Cheers for the chat earlier. No worries at all, my dude. FMGNG's gone for the little question. Now, the little question, I think, is, should Robin Olsen be fired out of a cannon? This question might ultimately be a response to my frustration that Aston Villa backup goalkeeper Robin Olsen has a remarkable track record for conceding at least 3 goals in every game he appears. He played 45 minutes last night. None of the goals were necessarily his fault, but we still conceded 3 goals in the second half with him on the pitch, and it's beyond coincidence now. We just don't. Maybe it's something to do with the confidence of the players around him, but yeah, it's rough. It's rough. So GNG says his positional sense means he wouldn't get in a cannon. Yeah, I think, to be fair, that says pretty much everything. Bless him. And I'm going to assume he wears cotton socks. He seems like the sort who would wear cotton. I don't know what the sort who wears cotton socks is, but whatever it is, he is it. Right, Selke's out for 3 days. That's fine. We've got a game in 6. He'll be okay. Sakura says, have you seen the generational miss from Cavani yesterday? He cost Boca a Libertadores spot. Oh, I have not seen that. Oh, how old is Cavani now? Like, we need to cut him some slack. He's what, he must be about 36, 37? We've got a big game coming up against Leipzig, so of course, more injuries coming in. Anton Guy is out for 4 weeks. And Bamba will miss the game. He's out for 8 days. So Cortiba, the REM song has books in the lyrics. That makes sense. So we should do one to the tune of La Bamba by Los Lobos for Mbamba. We definitely should. The main reason why I haven't is because Mbamba likes to pass rather than score, which means that the likelihood of him scoring any goals is very, very low. But that doesn't stop us from singing it anyway. Europe, here we come. Absolutely. Welcome in, by the way, combative skipper. Combative skipper. Thank you very much for the follow. I do apologise for butchering your name. Ah, okay, so you're just Deshaun, right? Okay, cool, perfect. Right, so Leipzig drop points. Next game is a must-win. I mean, next game is a must. Well, a must-win would be nice, but a draw will certainly help us a lot. I think away from home against Leipzig, expecting anything would be bold. I'd say bold. So El Norby says, yes, he does. Fire Robin Olsen out from a cannon. Absolutely. Right, the career says, look to the stats for the Villa game. 4 XG from Palace sounds outrageous. It absolutely was. I mean, so they had a couple of essentially tap-ins, which were like, so some of that XG came from just a couple of chances, but they carved through us far too easily. We shifted to a back 3, and it looked like we hadn't practiced the back 3 for maybe, I don't know, maybe more than a day. If we guessed that we rested on Sunday, we came back to train on Monday, and then we went for the game on Tuesday. And and we were making love by Thursday and Friday and Saturday, chilled on Sunday. I can't remember the lyrics. Evidently. I mean, very, very evidently. So Mike's had a David Beckham regen in one of the older games. He lasted around 17 years, never missed a single match. Not a single one. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Cavani turned 38 on Valentine's Day. Well, there we go. 38. Like, he should absolutely be retired and relaxing, and not worrying whatsoever about Copa Libertadores or playing football. Like, he's the player you bring out for the last 2 minutes in the hope that you might win a penalty so he can score that. Yeah, it is the Sean. Awesome. Perfect. Zenergy's in. Welcome in, Zenergy. How you doing, my dude? How's your week been so far? I will go and check out I'm going to pop that up there so I can check the miss in a moment. Oh, no, it's played straight away. Oh, bless him. Oh, bless him. Just a complete miscue, eh? Well. Welcome in Bish Miller as well. Muster Dorks. That is the collective noun for watchers of the streams. It just is now. I mean, I'm happy to embrace it. The Muster Dorks is the official name for a gaggle of Musterman fans. Exactly. Although gaggle is a great collective noun as well. So Cavani should have had a better United career, says Bish Miller. He got shafted after lockdown. I think that's kind of fair. I think United have had a problem for a very, very, very long time in terms of having a real tactical identity. I don't think they necessarily had the right players to get the most out of Cavani. You really want to let Cavani be your goal scorer, to focus on creating chances primarily for Cavani. Excuse me. Bless you. Bless me. What? Why am I yeah. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm never sure that Cavani was really much of a fit for United or the way they were set up at the time, which is a shame. But the positive side or the flip side of it there is that I also think it means that he hasn't been particularly tarnished by his time there. I don't come away from it thinking Cavani's legacy has been ruined in any respect. Right. We're going to stick with pretty much the same kind of plan here. We will, though, put Nürnberger in here, Garrido in as the playmaker this time on the right. Nürnberger's the one who's marking. Going to stick with everything else pretty much the same, I think. And then we'll head into it. A nice, easy game against RB Leipzig. Now, Marco Rose is long gone. So, they're not necessarily as much of a force. Currently managed by Mattia Crocchi Torti, the man who seems to constantly fail upwards in FM games. Right, nobody's expecting anything. I trust you to make the difference. This is a free hit, guys. Yes, winning this game would be massive in terms of getting into Europe. But I expect nothing. I expect absolutely nothing against a team of Leipzig's quality. So if we can even scrape out a draw, that would be incredible. Energy's okay. Had better weeks, but getting there. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully it gets better from here. Thank you for the Gesundheit, Johnny. Mike says, Saudi football is what would-be retirees have been dreaming of for ages. In all fields, zero effort, maximum paycheck. Let the old guys have their fun until the money runs out. It's a free hit, guys. This game is a free hit. Wow. From kickoff. Seiwald sends it out to Decker. Decker into Engelhardt. Rashidi. What is... Just to watch Rashidi again. In fact, let's see if we can get a more fun view here. If we go behind goal. So Rashidi's no idea, absolutely no idea where Hudson-Odoi is. That's bad enough. He's currently looking up. He's looking at where the pass came from, despite it now being in Englehart's feet to play the next ball. No idea. Now, at this point, he's running this way rather than say, I don't know, this way. And as Hudson-Odoi gathers the ball, he goes, fuck it, I'm just going to tackle air. Bless him. Bless him so much. William Rashidi, you are an embarrassment. So that's a good start. That is definitely a good start. Bill Houdini's in. Welcome in, my dude. How are you, sir? Bishmiller says, Lockdown Cavani was a baller. And to be fair, I think we did have a decent enough squad to be able to build around him. But when Cristiano came in the next season, we just shafted him. I respectfully disagree. I think that for probably the best part of the last 10 years, you have repeatedly accumulated a squad of individuals that, like, Bruno Fernandes should be your creative outlet, but wants to be the hero. You had who would you have had playing behind the striker at that point? By the way, we're 2-0 down. This game is going to be very, very bad. Sorry, Bishmiller, you're saying, and your entire paragraph got ignored. If you're talking about the one about Lockdown Cavani there, it's not that it's been ignored, sire. It's that I'm working through chat linearly, so I do apologise. 2 shots, 2 goals. Last time we had a game like this, we lost 6-0. So we're not creating any chances whatsoever. We're actually doing quite well in terms of ball share. Final third pass as well. We're just not breaking them down at the moment. So let's pop in. Let's try and be more expressive. We'll be more expressive and shoot on sight. So hopefully just when we're in the final third, we're just going to try a few more things. Even if it doesn't work, you know, we get a long shot, maybe we can pick up a rebound. We try a chance, maybe there can be an error by the defence and we can get back into the game. Or we go 3-0 down. Here we go. We've got a highlight here. Starting with Leipzig with the ball. Engelhardt. Couple of great passes already so far. Finds Wakasa, who spreads it out to Decker. Poor Rashidi is not being helped out on the edge there. Jalert. That's 3-0. I mean, wow. Wow. 3 shots, 3 goals. This is going to be a long game. Right, Wakasa sends it out to Decker. Decker does well to find Hudson-Odoi, who then plays it to Jalert on the edge of the area. Jalert's placement is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Beautiful, beautiful strike. Yeah, this is one of the first goal, shocking defending. The second goal, not much better defending. The third goal, really good placement. We could have done better in terms of picking up the man over on the right. But it's not the worst thing in the world, as Esse has a shot pushed behind by Van der Voort. But if you told me that we were to go away from home against Leipzig, restrict them to just 3 shots in the entirety of the first, well, the half's not over, 3 shots in the first half, I'd be happy with that. So I can't be too critical. What we do want to look at is what we can do, or where things are breaking down for us. So let's have a look at possession lost. Andre Brooks in particular, Rashidi, standard thing, it's the fullbacks. So we're seeing a lot of that now. Rashidi's losing the ball much deeper, which is a problem, whilst Brooks is at least losing it high up. Let's see how many of those are crosses. Not that many. So that should be 4 of those lost possessions. That's fine. And let's see how many of them might be passes. So they've been tackled 3 times. Otherwise, it appears to all be trying to get into the final third. So I've got to respect that in some regards. That was absolutely terrible. So, tell you to take fewer risks. That's just try and play it inside a little bit more. Let's give him some support over on this side as well. We're going to shift Skitter over. And that means we're going to ask... Burrito isn't that kind of player. So in fact, let's ignore the right-hand side entirely. We're going to bring Bonch. No, we're not. We're going to... You can stay as a wing-back on defend. And we're just going to swap all these guys around a little bit. Like so. Let's see how we do in that regards. Well. So Bruno is a massive liability for United. See, I agree with that. Manager, it's a free hit. Players looked complacent. That is fair. That is fair. Right, 6-0. Here we go again. It does feel like it's going to be that way, but maybe we can show something a bit more spirited in the second half here. Mawson takes a shot, blocked. Over the top. No, Moga's not going to be able to get there, is he? He is, though, because Akamash... Oh, no, he's not. Akamash could have let that one, I think. Brav, I did not ask for a Doritos ad. You're going to eat Doritos, Bishmiller. Succumb to the joy of Doritos. Right, Decker with a great challenge. Now, can Selke get there? He can't. Mawson's going to take aim from distance once again. Van der Voort pushes it over. Just spam shots from distance. This is what I want. Man, we're shit, says Erachul. We are a little, aren't we? We are a little. Right, Johnson says, the problem for United is, even currently, we still have players who were signed by Van Gaal and Mourinho and expect them to work seamlessly under new managers with completely different philosophies. Not only Amrin, but to an extent Ten Hag as well. Absolutely. There's been no proper succession planning. There's been moving from one style of manager to a different style of manager, then back to another style of manager. It's not been cohesive any way through the process. And I get it. If you're sacking a manager because their system doesn't work, you don't necessarily want to then bring in someone else who's going to use a very, very similar system, because what's going to change? But then, as a result, you get situations like this, where the squad is very, very disparate. Right, Martin, over to Decker, Seiwald, back out to Martin. It's a lovely cross in. Rimmer gets there. Bugger off, ref. Bugger off. VAR was told him to take a closer look. That was a ignored VAR. Oh, there you go. There you go. You feel like you've got some agency, do you? Fuck you. Openda, 4-0. This isn't good for our goal difference, that's for sure. On comes youngster Hu Yin for the otherwise rather underwhelming William Rashidi. I don't feel like my defenders have been that bad, honestly. So that definitely sits on me for not blaming them for this performance. Standard double change as well with Sims and Essa. Push that tempo up. And there we go. Right, so gathering stars for the sake of gathering stars worked for Beckham. He was borderline Perlo in that lineup because Figo had the right wing covered. He showed what his right foot could do. And the Mike, is there a further context to that?
It's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Bless you, G&G, gifting a 1-month subscription to Bish Miller. What a gentleman. It's not the statistics. It's not the statistics. Mike, sorry, I can't see any context for that. I feel like I'm missing something, so I do apologise there. Yigin says, do you not find it hard to deal with overloads on the wing when using 3/5 at the back? There is always that risk in some regards. What you have, what has worked for us outside of this game is by having the outside centre-backs on cover duties. So they end up picking up the wingers, whilst these guys tend to pick up the fullbacks. We anyway want to defend quite narrow, so we accept and we concede some territory in those wide areas naturally. But you do get games where, as we've seen here, Rashidi in particular on the right just seemed to completely neglect his defensive duties for a game. Flinson's in behind. Come on. Yes, there we go. There we go. A consolation.
Scoring like no tomorrow. Dumb stand.
There we go. That's something to... I genuinely, it's stupid when we've conceded 4 goals, but I think we've done pretty well in this game in terms of expectations. Yeah, it's a rotten result. We've certainly... I wouldn't have gone so far as to say that we deserve to win by any stretch of the means, but we've certainly had games this season where we've played well and not got results. And so sometimes you end up with games like this where we play okay and get absolutely thrashed. Oh well. I'm not happy, and that will drop us back down to 8th to 7th. So our goal difference just about survives. We are 2 ahead of Darmstadt. Leipzig jump ahead of us. They've still got that game in hand. We don't really count them as being on 36. They're on 39 as far as I'm concerned, which means we've now got a 5-point deficit for the European places, unless there end up being bonus spots. Right, get these guys rested up. And then we go again, we lick our wounds, and next game against Wolfsburg, who are in 13th. So a chance at least to bounce back, hopefully there. Hung them in, Darmstadt can't play football right now. The fan base can't breathe. Hung them in loves it when we lose. There were 2 times Hung them in will talk. It'll be during the games or when we lose. Right, let's get you back up to fitness. You guys are good. Who else needs games? Forkel and Sims. That will be Forkel. That will be Sims. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful. So Zenergy says, honestly, what frustrates me the most with United recently is that the best football I've seen from them in the past 3 or 4 years is when Ole was manager. It is looking that way. I mean, I loved what Amrin could do at Sporting. I've been very consistent in my concerns about how his out of possession approach will translate at this level. But what's probably been most disappointing has been just how little fluidity the game has had. United in possession, which you kind of expect to be Amarin's strengths, just haven't looked like a fluid, cohesive team. It's going to take a little bit of time to get those ideas across and to get players into the habits that he likes to form. But it's not looking good. It's not looking good at the moment. Bishmilla, we won't let you go. Let me go. Welcome in, paying my taxes. Thank you very much for the follow. And to you as well, Esquisitopo. I do apologise. I know I've got that wrong. I'm very, very sorry. All right, and Bamba's going to be injured again, as is Bonch. He's out for 2 to 3 weeks. So that's leaving our bench looking a little bit thin. Muller's going to be on the bench. Forkel, Sims. Do we really have someone I think we can promote from here who's going to be able to play as a midfielder? They're all defensive midfielders, but it's most likely to be Phil McCracken. There isn't a game for us to worry about it clashing with. So Phil McCracken onto the bench for the upcoming game. So John Sir says, another season why Bruno is failing the eye test so many people is that we're sitting so deep that he doesn't really have any other options than the Hollywood ball once we actually win the ball back. I mean, John Sir, I'll without wanting to be too rude on that would be fine if it wasn't that Fernandes has been doing that even when you're in advanced positions and when you're dominant. His love of the Hollywood ball at every opportunity is certainly something that's been an issue. Yes, there is 100% validity to it being difficult when you're struggling to get out of your own third and properly establish yourself in possession. But just his decision making across the board is just so poor, so poor. Mike says, you meant that Beckham in Madrid worked out even if Real Madrid only purchased him for the star power. one of the few instances where gathering big names worked. I mean, yeah, okay, I suppose that's fair in some respect, although they also had some very good managers and an astonishing level of talent. But I'd also go so far as to suggest that Madrid's Galactico era was not as successful as you would have expected, given the resources put in there. Right, so Salty says, is it just me or everyone on YouTube have freezes on sound only? I'm getting muted on every 2 to 3 seconds for about 1 second. Okay. Please do let me know if anyone else is experiencing that. See if there's something that I might need to go and fix. Otherwise, I'll just try. Let me just move the mic away a little bit. See if it's just there. So just by moving that, that's going to drop the dBs by about a couple. So maybe I was clipping. I've just been talking a little bit too loud. I'm a little too close. So do let me know if that's improved at all. Right, we need a reserve manager, preferably someone that plays with a back five. Urban, Nuxil, Riedel. So none of those guys. But I don't have the option to continue advert for some reason. So maybe they've decided to hire one of those lots. Who knows? Mike says he's had it too. It seems to be okay now. Okay, right, cool. Let me just, I can adjust down the, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to bring the volume down a little bit more as well. I think that I might be clipping it, so I do apologize. So paying my taxes, I really hate it when top 6 outplay mid-table teams than anything else. Why? I mean, like, yes, you're going to have a disparity in a league anyway, but surely the reason why a team is a top 6 team is because they're able to outplay the mid-table teams. Right, here we go into the game against Wolfsburg. Let's take a drink. I'm going to reward Linson for his goal. That sees us also put Skitter up front. I'm giving Hu Yin a start. Rashidi needs to be benched for that performance, which could be a little bit risky, but there we go. Again, another 4-2-3-1, so we'll stick with what we did in the game against Cologne. And yeah, let's head on in there. So it's still the same for you, say it loudly. Okay, I do apologise. I don't know what to do there. Let's. It might be something. It's very difficult to tell. So it's well under in terms of the volume. It's well under. In terms of any frame skipping, I don't seem to be having any feedback suggesting that the upload rate is right. So I don't know. I mean, without wanting to be rude, say it loudly. Is there any chance you can leave and come back and see if it's just something on the phone there temporarily? Or if there is anyone else over on YouTube who's experiencing that, please do let me know. It might be that I need to end the stream on YouTube and start it back up again or something. I don't know. Right, I want to see a much better performance. I want to make sure that those that didn't react are told that I want to see a good performance from them as well. I'll continue to not react. We head into the game against Wolfsburg. Come on, we can win this. We can win this, surely. So Zenergy says, United look more like a collection of players that meet each other 2 weeks ago and have not built up any of those little connections that playing week in, week out gives players. Indeed. Now, I recognise that there's a certain element of... a lot of football is instinctual. You build up habits and training. You work on those movements and those positionings so that in game, when you have no time to react, you know that a player is going to be over your right shoulder. You know where someone's going to make a run, and those kind of things that become instinctual take a little bit of time to build up. But it does look like none of the players know each other's far too often. Right, here comes Wolfsburg. Aydin takes a shot, blocked. And here comes Garrido. Take the pressure off. That's right. Plays it out to Hu Yin. It's been a good start from Wolfsburg. 3 shots with 27% of the ball. Now, none of those shots were particularly great quality, but that is a little bit concerning. Schmidt to Linson. Linson, we can't quite get there. Chabot is across to cover. Plays it back into Merle. Merle back to Chabot. Interesting. We had Meyer marked up, and then we just left him alone. As Skitter's put in. Is that offside, though? The flag stayed down. The flag stayed down. It's a goal. Stand, scoring like no tomorrow. Stand, the goals are here. I did not think he was onside. I did not think he was onside at all. Let's have a look here. Poor touch from Meyer. Selke sends it through. Wow, that is tight. That is very, very tight. But we have done a Leipzig to Wolfsburg. We've scored with our first shot. Here's a corner routine. Oh, Linson, so close, so close. White Quadmo fan says Buffy's little. Oh, Michelle Trachtenberg has died. Oh shit. Oh, that's a shame. That's sad. She can't be. Well, I feel like Michelle Trachtenberg was around my age as Aiden equalises, shot from the edge of the area. Sahinovic should have done better. Bastard. I was going to say, I think she must be only around 39, in which DM Base is confirmed, because I thought she was my age. Wow. That is a surprise. So there we go. Aiden shot. It's the near post side. Sahinovic got a hand to it. He should have done better. Right, paying my taxes means he was playing in Serie A, was always stuck in 7th, only able to qualify for Conference League with 9 points difference between Juventus. Just joking. Right, I see. Fair enough. This is a bad performance so far. In fact, I tend to avoid trying to pause a game whilst it's going on. For tactical change like this, because a manager won't be able to just say, hey guys, can we stop for a moment whilst we look to see what's going on. They're getting the ball forwards really, really easy. We've got the attacking 3 there have had more touches than the midfielders. Let's have a look at how Wolfsburg are passing. So they're attacking this way from right to left. We're seeing quite a lot of play out into those wide areas and then inside. They're not really impacting things in this area. The fact that there's only been two pass attempts into the box is crazy. So they are quite clearly doing their best to shoot from distance, which means that I want to increase how often we're trying to press. That's going to see us go with back as a ball-winning midfielder. That's not really a role. Ball-winning midfielder isn't really a role that Garrido plays, whereas Nürnberger can do that. Got that up there. Let's see. Let's also try and make sure that we're making them a less attractive proposition to pass to. Because yeah, like them having lots of shots from distance is kind of okay, but the same as what we were saying in the last game, right? Is that sometimes shooting from distance means that you can get things go your way. You can get a nice deflection, or you put players under pressure, get rebounds, so forth. So we don't want it to be too much. Selke with a lovely turn. Selke takes a shot from distance here, and that's over. So yeah, hopefully we can try and get a little bit more of a foothold in, because that was a pretty awful first half. Point some fingers. Tell them they've been rubbish. Huyin's on a yellow card. That means Rashidi gets gets to come back into the lineup. Bless him. Does he? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Oh, he probably does, because I've got no bloody defensive midfielders, have I? Because they're all injured. Right, this is what we're doing. We are attacking. Put you on support. An attacking Mazzala there. A supporting Mazzala here. We're going to ask you to mark tighter and tackle harder. Same on this side as well. And that's going to see Roman Essa on for Hu Yin. That means there's no ambiguity about who's marking there. We've got the matchups accordingly. So that does mean we are playing 3 defensive midfielders, 2 of them at fullback. We're playing two attacking midfielders at central midfield. So we might lose the midfield battle a little bit more. But that does also mean we have slightly more players deeper to kind of protect that area, hopefully, where Wolfsburg have got a lot of the ball. What a lovely, lovely dime of a pass to Kaminski. Kaminski plays it to the back, but Linson is there defending. Good on you, Linson. Right, Brooks with a throw-in. Plays it back. Here's Schmidt, finds Brooks once more. Brooks tries to feed Skitter, can't make it through. Wimmer gets the ball, goes all the way back to Kamil Grabara in goal. He sends the ball long. Jonas Wind knocks it down. Garrido sweeps up across to Schiffel. They've got to play out to Nürnberger. He does. Nürnberger skips inside, can't go anywhere. Back to Schiffel. Nürnberger once again. Nürnberger finds Linson. Linson's going to run that channel. You could beat your man, Linson. You're better than that. Finds Garrido. Garrido's shot. Pushed behind by Grabara. Complications from a liver transplant, most likely. Oh, that is not good. It's not good. Welcome in, Dill. We are currently mourning the loss of Michel Trachtenberg as Kemp. And as I say that, I'm now going to play a goal sound because Kenneth Schmidt scored. That feels weird. So, whilst we're talking about the sad news of Michel Trachtenberg passing, go and follow Dill. I'm sorry, that's a really bad time to shout you out, my dude, but do go on over if you're not following Dill already. He's an amazing creator, absolutely amazing creator. So calm, so lovely. As Kaminski scores, really good to watch. This game is frustrating. This game is very frustrating. We've conceded long shot equalizers almost immediately after both goals we've scored so far. She'd been hiding the issues, fair enough, okay. So say it loud. He says, Mike, you can only build with 3 players and loans, believe me. FM, it's so easy. If you don't go for a challenge like an iconic skin or some boundaries, you put in a save. The beauty of Football Manager is it can be played in a multitude of ways. Right. 68th minute. Here come the changes. What are those changes, though? Those changes are Mousend in at the base of defence. Selka being withdrawn again. Let's increase that tempo. Sticking with standard set of changes, really. Let's see if we can. Come on, demand more. We're into the last 15 minutes or so. The game hasn't really done anything since they've scored that goal. But here's a corner. Can we steal something towards the end here? Wimmer is the target. It's a great save from Grabara. Oh, what a save. What a save. Here comes Wolfsburg. Meyer's free kick's ended in. Mawissa misses an absolute sitter. Well, that's livened up a little bit. That has livened up quite a bit. Last couple of changes. It's got to be fullbacks, which means it's going to be Rashidi and Muller on. We're chasing it. We want wins. We are not willing to accept a draw against Wolfsburg. I'd rather we lose. I'm going to regret that as we concede. Let's drop that to shorter because we actually play better when we pass shorter. I keep on forgetting to change it after the because I notice it in games and that obviously doesn't save across to the next one. There we go. There's a draw. We didn't want a draw. How boring. How boring. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Esser's cross. Kaminski gets it clear. Mousend, can he do something in the last few seconds? It's a great block from Janixek, and that's the full-time whistle. Points dropped. Yeah, we didn't deserve to win that. We did not deserve to win that. And that keeps us... Okay, so 7th is now confirmed as being in Europe. Gladbach drew against Homburg. So we remain in 7th. Which is perhaps a little bit flattering there. So whilst I'm here, let's do that. So I keep on forgetting. And it does feel like I should probably go and check back through, but Selke scores. I feel like Selke only scores for us when he's the only striker. But we have been actually, after the last few games, we've now played. Let's have a look at that. Let's have a look. So when we play this formation, we create one chance every night for 85, a chance against every 171. We compare that to this. That doesn't create chances that often either, so that's kind of maybe okay. Chance every 87, 83, 85, 161. And the rest of these variations, pardon me, aren't frequent enough. I mean, it's all much for muchness in terms of chance creation, which is quite bad. But then we know that we've focused on tooling up our defense. So, you know, our plan ultimately for the Bundesliga was securing that side of things. We do know that chance creation is going to be somewhat of an issue. But yeah, I feel like Selke doesn't score when we play two up top. So Adam is saying that the midfield gives England 2018 vibes. Surely it gives England for like the last 30 years vibes. How can we squeeze Scholes, Lampard, and Gerrard into the same lineup, regardless of whether it makes sense or not? I do think you are right, dear Basis, that shouting out Dill 40k is exactly what Michel Trachtenberg would have wanted. Michel Trachtenberg was quite famously a strong supporter of American presence in soccer, something she was very, very passionate about, which is why she did the film Eurotrip. It was her way of getting the American audience to consider the existence of Europe a little bit more, to culturally enrich the American audience around things that European audiences are interested in. That's the gateway into soccer. It all fits together. Dan Bassist, a great game for the neutrals. Some great goals, cracking goals. Right, 34 minutes to go until Barry Ferguson in all his staunch glory leads out Rangers. I saw a wonderful quote from, it's in the BBC article. I think it might have even been the title of the BBC article, if I'm correct, where Barry Ferguson said that he didn't think he'd get the chance to manage Rangers. And I was like, yeah, of course you didn't. You're shit. Like, the opportunity to manage Rangers probably requires you to have been at least decent in one of your previous jobs. So it shouldn't be that much of a shock. Bless him. Right, standard malarkey there. We're going to get them to try and keep them fit. Home game against Augsburg. Augsburg, last time we played them. So I can't remember whether we got a draw out of that game or not. I don't want the Stuttgart game. I want the Augsburg game. Thank you. We did get a draw. So we got a draw 0-0. But from what I remember, I feel like Augsburg were on top quite a bit. I know that Wilhelmsen, our former striker Wilhelmsen, had a couple of good chances. Yeah, it was a pretty rubbish game. 9 shots to 2. They missed a penalty. There we go. So I don't remember things 100%, but I remembered at least that they were the better team. But actually, 9 shots roughly each apiece. You take the penalty out of that, it's quite even. It's quite bad. Quite a bad game, but quite an even game. So maybe with us being at home, we can take a little bit more of an initiative there. All right, Al Norby's going to watch the United game. Good luck with the stream. Thank you very much for dropping by, my dude. Really, really appreciate it. By the way, welcome in Adam as well. I do apologise that I just read it and I didn't actually say hello. How are you doing, my dude? How's your week been so far? Now, I've not shouted out Adam just because he's in here regularly, but because I feel like I need to bully him into streaming more. It's been a couple of weeks now. And so not just should you go and give Adam a follow, but you should then pop on over to his channel, go and open the little chat thing that you can, and bully him into streaming more, essentially. I'm essentially I don't want to advocate for bullying, but yes, you need to be bullied in a respectful way. I hope you're doing well, my dude. Right, Mike says he loves FM just because of the football world you can shape. I've learned it's better not to look under the hood too much and just pretend everything works as intended. I mean, again, very, very strongly agree with you. I think that... So there was an element of computer games where there was a lot of focus on min-maxing and trying to understand the mechanics that exist so that you can exploit them, so that you can be the best as possible at a game, which is perfectly reasonable. But I think part of the charm in a game like Football Manager is that it's meant to loosely model the real world, and that if you start thinking about the game of Football Manager as sliders and numbers and algorithms and calculations, you take away a little bit of the magic of the game. It's about, you know, enjoying the warts and all that aspects that come with it. That doesn't mean be uncritical, of course not. But there was certainly scope for just embracing and enjoying it. Yes, Wolfsburg held Gladbach as well. So Gladbach do jump ahead of us, having played one game more. But Wolfsburg took points off us. They've taken points off Gladbach. I can be happy with that. Right, the board expect to draw, so they don't have confidence in us, which kind of makes me feel a little bit better. Right. What the fuck is it? Sorry, whereas Quadmo fan was talking about Fancy. Isaac has been left out of today's games. Oh, that's annoying. I think he might even be my captain. Oh well. It means for DM basis though, he gets 7 points from Rodgers. Oh, I took Rodgers out as well. I transferred Rodgers out this week. I completely didn't tweak that yesterday. Oops. So DM basis, yep, hiring a player who very famously down tool to get a manager the sack, to manage a bunch of players who've reportedly down tools to get a manager the sack, all after failing at the dizzying heights of Scottish League One football. Exactly, what could go wrong? What could go wrong, DM basis? So Adam, the streams will definitely come back, just a busy couple of weeks. Absolutely fair. And Colatiba is off to the beach. The sun isn't as strong as earlier. I don't blame you. Have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. And Zenergy, Mrs. Zen just said that she thinks United need to get relegated, and that will force the players to buck their ideas up. I love her, but not for her football knowledge. I think she's 100% right. Get them down. Get them down. And Ipswich have scored. 4 minutes on the clock. That's funny. That is funny. I'm sorry, United fans. I am so sorry. Right. We've got a game coming up against Augsburg. It's about to start in a moment, but we also have an ad break. So I'm going to bring, well, the ad break starts in about 2 minutes. I'm going to bring that forwards a little bit so that we can then get straight into the game afterwards. I will see you guys in about 3 to 4 minutes. Right, we're back. And I see that DM Basis has redeemed a mystery minigame, so let's play a round of Only Connect. Now, if you guys haven't seen Only Connect before, I'll explain how it's played. Really simple. You're going to see 4 pictures of players, one after the other. They all share a common connection. That connection might be that they've all played with the same player or in the same team. They might have a word hidden in their name. They might all hold a type of record. Your job is to work out what that connection is. The earlier you guess, the more points you get. The more points you get, the higher up you end up on that lovely little leaderboard down there. We run leaderboards for all time. We run leaderboards weekly as well. So if you're new in, it's always worth getting involved because you could end up on the weekly leaderboard. So with that said, let's head on in and see the first clue. The first clue is this fella here. Now I'm guessing you guys should be able to recognize who that is. But in case in case not everyone does, pop it in the chat. There you go, medical car, Balotelli, so that everyone knows who it is, just to make sure, and then we can kind of work through what could possibly be the connection there. So we've got a guess of that. It might be that players that have all played for Inter and AC Milan crossing the San Siro. It's a very, very good guess. It's not what we're looking for, unfortunately. DM Bassist doesn't just say that it's Mario Balotelli. It's FM08 Wonder Kid Mario Balotelli. It was indeed. He was indeed. Now, how long did it go before FM stopped considering Balotelli to be a world-class player? Because it was a lot of FMs in a row where he would turn out to be absolutely world-class. It's a shame it's never quite got there. Why always him, says Adam. Exactly. Lookmar's guessing, could it be that there are players named after video game characters? As does Medical Car, both with the same guess. Great guesses. It's not that. So paying my taxes. Wait, can we guess without seeing every picture? Yes, you can indeed. The earlier you guess, so before you see all the pictures, if you guess now, you get 5 points. If you guess on the second picture, you get 3 points. If you guess on the third, get it correct on the third picture, 2 points. The last picture, 1 point. So Zeratul, players that have changed their names. I like that idea. All players that use their middle name instead of their birth surname. I like that as well. Is it players who had songs named after them? There's a song named after Mario Balotelli. That sounds incredible. Sadly, it is none of those things. But I want to know more about the Mario Balotelli song. Right, here is player number 2. Right, we've got a Mario Balotelli song by Rough Squad. Interesting. And it uses the "why always me" phrase. Incredible stuff. So Amoslium 1996, I do apologise firstly if I've pronounced your name wrong there. Players to have played for Brescia. I love that guess. It isn't that, unfortunately. Adam has correctly identified that this is Mutu, Adrian Mutu. So Zeratul is going for teenage stars that flopped. Now, did Mutu flop? It's a difficult one, that, isn't it? Because like Mutu is a player that was absolutely excellent until the incident. I thought he was pretty solid after he left Chelsea, but I might be wrong. So is it players that shone bright and hot but flamed out quickly? Wonder kids to play under Mourinho? Good guesses there. Repeating because I fear you missed it. Is it players who only have 1 Premier League assist? I did miss it, Adam. Thank you very much for reiterating. It's not, unfortunately, but it is a very, very good guess there. Zeratul's going for Inter Milan players, which is absolutely reasonable as well. They did both play for Inter Milan, but it isn't. It sadly isn't Inter Milan related. Right, shall we reveal the next player? The next player on this list is this fella. This fella looking all handsome and composed in his Ajax kit. So we are looking for something that would link Mario Balotelli, Adrian Mutu, and the Ajax man. It is, Adam has correctly identified, it is De Ligt. So Balotelli, Mutu, and De Ligt. So they span a long time. They span a very, very long time. Balotelli was still playing up until relatively recently. Mutu was certainly, I think he must have broke through just at the beginning of the 90s, like at the end of the 90s. So, Johnny Trotter has guessed that Christian Kivu is the link. Now, Christian Kivu has definitely played with Mutu. Well, actually, has he? I imagine he's played with Mutu for Romania. I could see perhaps at Inter Milan at the same time as Balotelli. I'm not sure about De Ligt, but obviously there is an Ajax link there somewhere along the lines. A very, very good guess. Sadly, it's not that. Now, Laka has also gone in with Kivu as well. Laka's also played for Juventus. And there is a Juventus link in here. There is a very, very strong Juventus link in here, but it's not that they've all played for Juventus, I'm afraid. Zerachel, who's been on an absolute tear in the mini-games in the last couple of weeks, suggested that they might have all played with Gigi Buffon. And Balotelli played with Buffon for Italy. Adrian Mutu played for Buffon at Parma. De Ligt played with Buffon at Juventus. And Kutu played with Buffon at Parma. There we go. Fabulous work. Incredible stuff, Zerachel. A hard-earned 2 points. Beautiful stuff. The applause comes in from Johnny Trotter. It comes in one way, it comes in the other way. The energy goes both directions too. Medical car with the applause. Adam with the applause. Paying my taxes says impressive. That was impressive. That was very, very impressive. Buffon is a proper link. Total GOAT goalkeeper. Wasn't he just an incredible player? An incredible player. I didn't realise he was still with the Italy team in 2018. I mean, actually, I get that he's only just retired, but what? Just astonishing. An astonishingly good player. Crazy. Beautiful stuff. Right, let's get back into the game. We're playing up against Augsburg. Linton wasn't bad in that game, so we'll keep him in that spot. Skitter scored a goal, so he will definitely stay there as well. And Bamba back from injury. So Forkel on the bench. Sims on the bench. Rashidi comes back in for Hu Yin. Get him doing. We'll get back into Segundo Volante for him. In fact, we'll have the Segundo Volante as the more attacking player on that right hand side rather than Rashidi. See if he can make those runs beyond Selke. And I do prefer Brooks doing that. Now we've got Muller on the bench as well, which is grand. They are playing they're playing a 3-4-3. Okay, awesome. So Garrido, we no longer need to ask him to mark an attacking midfielder. We do still want that defensive setup. Let's head in for it. Let's head into it. So Buffon has to be the most underrated goalkeeper of all time. Underrated, really? I mean, surely he's been. Maybe it's my own biases there. I've just always considered him to be one of the best, so I assume everyone else does as well. Lukmar says Buffon was quite good, but he was no Jens Lehmann. Okay, well there we go. There we've got evidence of somebody underrating Buffon. Astonishing claim. I mean, I get it. You've got to rep the Germans, but I can't be having that. I said Buffon was great. Zenergy reckons he can name 5 keepers arguably better than him though. Yeah, I'm with Laka here. Go on, name 5 keepers better than Gigi Buffon. So Bay says, you've missed my Almasi lookup request. I have indeed. I do apologise. We'll do that after the game. Actually, we'll do that after the highlight. If I remember, because Ladislav Almasi fan has redeemed this in the past, I believe. I don't think he's in the game. I don't think he met the criteria when we set up the game. We haven't loaded Slovakia since, so I don't know if he would have been added at a later point, but we will certainly check. And if not, you can suggest someone else to look up. Brooks with a shot, blocked behind for a corner. We've seen as the attacking player, the Volante has got forward quite decently there. Cross comes in, claimed by Schmidt. That's surely got to be the end of the highlight. It is. Almasi. We do have Ladislav Almasi in. Well, hey, here we go. 20 goals in 22 games. He's now age 30. Look at that. Look at that. Absolute beast. 63% header win rate. 0.98 from 0.45. We won't have much information. Well, we won't have much accuracy on the information here, but we know he's a big boy. We know he's a big boy. So let's see. Of course, he's in the Czech Republic, isn't he? He's in Czechia, not in Slovakia. So he wasn't in the game up until the 28-29 season when we loaded in Czechia. That then resulted in him getting a move to Fastav Zlin, where he's been tearing it up. 29 games, 29 goals in 37 games. Beautiful stuff. And that does kind of make him a possible candidate for us to sign. He could be the Davy Selke replacement. Could be the Davy Selke replacement. Right, here's a throw in. Rashidi to Brooks. Rashidi sells Garrido short. It's okay, we get it. Garrido out to Rashidi once more. Push the ball up, gets the cross in. Andre Brooks with the goal.
Stand, scoring like no tomorrow. Stand, the goals are here.
Right, Garrido out to Rashidi. I don't think that Rashidi got the ball out enough. The cross comes in, takes a major deflection. Brooks is on hand to pass it into the net. Schmidt dives out of the way. We are 1-0 up. That's better. Right, did that highlight start with the corner already delivered? And that's the reason why it started there is because Garrido makes a nasty, nasty foul. Good, that's what I want. I kind of like that. I like to see a tactical foul in there. Right, Schmidt sprays it out to Rashidi. Rashidi's feels like he has a point to prove after being dropped for the last game. Good save. Garrido takes aim from distance. Right, okay, so Buffon is also potentially a bit of a fascist, so there's that too. But let's not go down that route. I guess that is a fair point. There are certainly issues in that regard. So look, Mars, top five keepers better than Buffon. Manuel Neuer, Oliver Kahn, Meyer, Erbig and Rensig. I mean, it started good. As a list, that started good. I will certainly grant you Neuer and Kahn very much deserve to be in that conversation. Zerbin now tries to play it through. Vargas, it's a lovely ball. Vargas plays it back to Carbonic. Carbonic, their big signing in the summer. They spent something like 40 million on him. He sends it across, and Visly Becker's shot goes out for a throw-in. Zenergy's gone for Lev Yashin, Gordon Banks, Peter Schmeichel, Oliver Kahn, Manuel Neuer. Okay, so, I mean, yep, I think there is certainly something fair there. I do also feel that it's very difficult to...
Stand, scoring like no tomorrow. Stand, the goals are here.
Right, okay. The goal celebration music there. I find it very difficult to compare, especially goalkeepers of a very, very past era like Yashin and Banks, because I didn't see them play that much. I know they've got phenomenal reputations. All I've ever really seen of them is highlights of their best moments and not their general play. And the availability of highlights from back then is certainly quite limited, as Carbonic looks to make it 2-1, forces the save out of Hinovic. So, yes, quite plausibly, but my only experience with Yashin and Banks is through seeing their best moments, which means I can't disagree, but I also can't agree, I'm afraid. Okay, solid. Not amazing, but not too bad. Let's tell them they can do better. Let's make those changes for the players who've been booked. And let's carry this on in the second half. Right, so paying my taxes. What is Almasi's height? He's 6'4", sir. 6'4". Oh, right, you want it in meters. Yeah, I don't know what it is in meters. But 196 sounds about right. That sounds very, very plausible. So Sega, welcome in, my dude. How are you? What's your objective for this save? Take Darmstadt to absolute glory, keep progressing in your career, and move to a bigger club. So as I've mentioned before, there are no objectives, Sega. It's play, have fun, see what happens. There is no specific. We don't have to leave the club. We don't have to stay with the club. We don't have to stay in Germany. We don't have to leave Germany. We will see what the narrative of the game throws up, and we'll follow what feels right. As Brooks is in behind, looking to make it 3. It's a good save from Schmidt, but Brooks should have done better there. Neutral Normie, welcome in, my dude. How are you? DM Basist's list of goalkeepers is Andy Gorham, Andy Gorham, Andy Gorham, Andy Gorham, and Andy Gorham. I mean, it's a bold list. A bold list indeed. My only concern is I feel like you've forgotten about Andy Gorham. Hung them in. Patrick Pfeffer, a centre-back. I can never remember his name. Patty Pepper. Everyone loves a little bit of Patty Pepper. Right, Mousehand finds Hu Yin. Hu Yin forces a save out of Schmidt. This has been a really good start to the second half. Well, we're 20 minutes into it now. But I do like the way we've applied ourselves. Can we get a third? Or are we going to be destined once again to concede a goal around the 85th minute and feel nervous for the last few moments? Right. Free kick sent long. Zernin knocks it on to Carbonik. Carbonik now. He is playing very, very attacking. I think we might shift a player out there. I'm thinking Skitter goes out onto the left wing and we look to counter in a little moment. Maybe even SA comes on off the bench and plays out there. Right, here's Brooks. Brooks is going to try and play it through to Skitter. Skitter takes aim from distance. It was straight at Schmidt. He pushes it behind. So after this corner, we're going to make the change. And Nürnberger sends it in, claimed by Schmidt. Let's pause. So what we're seeing, Carbonic getting really, really high. And Pfeffer isn't necessarily that close to covering that space. So I'm thinking that we now, well, we'll leave Selker in the right spot. We play Skitter as a winger on attack who will eventually attack those areas a little bit later. We ask Linson to push into the box as well. So like so. Now, do we keep Skitter on? Or do we use Essa in that role? We use SA in that role because Skitter's not naturally a winger. And let's then, after we click continue, let's go back in and edit it. Let's just try and make sure that we take advantage of those opportunities potentially. United have scored 1-1. Xerxes scores. No, he doesn't. It was an own goal. Right, so Zenergy's other two goalkeepers he's suggesting is Casillas and Cech. Fair. I think that I think there's a lot of goalkeepers in that personally. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong, just to be clear, Zenergy. Like your top 5 or your preferred goalkeepers are your preferred goalkeepers and vice versa. I think that list are all incredible goalkeepers. I think that there is because I would probably say there's maybe about 8 or 10, especially of that era, kind of like mid-90s to 2015, where there's not necessarily much between all of them. I think Buffon belongs in that list. I think everyone you've mentioned has belonged in that list as well. Right, last 10 minutes. Wimmer has picked up a yellow card, so we're going to bring him off. We're going to bring him off for Tubeck. We're also going to bring off Nürnberger so Muller can get some game time. And that will be our full suite of changes. Boom. Right, so welcome in, by the way, Lou. Lovely to see you, my dude. How's your week been? Neutral Normie. I also think the abilities of players from those eras are grossly exaggerated by the legend that surrounds them nowadays. Not saying they were bad, but we'll probably never know just how good they were. I think it's naturally the way that things get filtered out. You don't remember the bad song, like the really, really, really bad songs of, say, the 80s and 90s, because they don't get played anymore. And the same happens with sports. The highlights you see from the bygone eras are going to be the really big, important games. They're going to be the things that mattered, or the things that people point to as cementing a player's legacy. And so subsequently, you get a very, very distorted view. And as time passes, you forget those worst moments. You forget those worst moments, and you only ever focus on the really, really good things they did. Talking of really good things they did. 2-0.
Win for SV Darmstadt, spam the goal in motion. You can feel it every week. Muster Dogs rejoices, free your mind and join us. Gonna win the fucking league.
There we go. So that cements our spot in 7th. We're now 2 points ahead of Gladbach. We've got a little bit of a gap there between us and them, which is brilliant. Rashidi is suspended for the next game, which is a bit of a shame. That's away against Heidenheim. So Hu Yin will be in. Anton Guy should be back by that time. So that's nice, straightforward. Selke, I'm going to look to drop as well. He hasn't scored for a few games, so let's give him a spot off the bench. So hopefully we can get through the week without any further injuries. That's definitely nice and easy, right? We've been able to do that all the way through this save. So Eunice is back. What happened after the Leipzig game? So Eunice, we've only had the 2 games since. We had a 2-2 draw against Wolfsburg at home. A disappointing 2 points dropped there. We scored 2 pretty mediocre goals. There's a nice through ball to Skitter, and then a header from a corner. Wolfsburg scored 2 very nice efforts from the edge of the area. Kaminski's goal in particular was really, really nice. A lovely bending finish into the corner. And we know that's what Kaminski is capable of. And then we've just beaten Augsburg. So that's all you've missed so far. Zenergy says you can still watch games that they played in, you know. It gets harder. It does get harder though. So look, might ask, what's my thoughts on Hans Jörg Butt? I think he's got a great name, but you know, he's just a little bit behind the rest of them. I want to like him, but these negative thoughts about him always like rear their ugly head. Okay, I think that's about the only 2 bum puns I can think of, so I'm just going to say bum. Hans Jörg Butt I thought was solid. I never saw enough of him to suggest that he'd ever be elite. But again, it's probably going to be a certain element of that being that if I don't see those highlights, I don't know, and how media shapes us and so forth. Right, Zoachol, when you think you've seen everything, 2 goals in the first half. Thank you, Ipswich, for being this bad. So the Ligt has scored. It's 2-1 now. Oh well. So where is Hu Yin from? Hu Yin is from Germany. He was born in China. So he came through at Dortmund very, very early on in the game. His contract was due to expire in the summer, so we agreed a deal for him and then bought him now for 45k. He's kind of not quite complete, but he's pretty solid. A good physical profile, decent defending. His dribbling and first touch could do with improving. He's at 20 years old now. But they do reckon he should be able to improve quite a bit. So they rate him as a 3rd division player right now with the potential to be 1st division. So we do expect there is quite a lot of scope for growth. He's not really meant to be part of the first team this season, but Guy's constant injuries means that we kind of need him to be there and thereabouts. All right, Zenergy says, I agree. Buffon is definitely in my top 10, but my opinion may also be coloured by FM. He never played badly against me. You hate that. Gotta hate that. I mean, if we base it on FM, Tim Howard is the greatest goalkeeper that has ever existed. Not because of anything he's ever done for me in game, but purely based on the fact that for years and years and years, it was impossible for me to score against Everton. The man was just unstoppable, disgustingly so. Right, 60 minutes there. What's Burnch? He's quite a way off in terms of game availability. 60 minutes there as well. And then the youngsters that... Right, Stefanov, Uda. They should really be set to every game, but I like to make it on a game-by-game decision basis. Right, Selke dropped. I'm sorry. It's not dropped. Selke rested. He's 35 years old. He needs just a little bit of a break from the starting lineup for a game. Right, Guy's back from injury, and Rashidi, who's suspended, is out injured. That's absolutely fine. Adam, bum jokes on the internet. I know. Shocking. Zenergy wants to know, can you share a link to a website? You can indeed. It is possible to share links in the chat, and if it appears to be anything questionable, I can then delete the message, so it's all good. Right, and Bamba wants a new contract. He's been okay this year. Not great. Still doesn't really... So what I like about him is his header win rate from midfield. He does help us with progression. But I'm not sure. Let's see what the demands are likely to be. 35k? No. Bring that down to maybe around... That's a no. That's a no. So time to upset him. You don't deserve any more, I'm afraid. Hey, we've gone a whole while without upsetting a player. In fact, it's just Sauter who's been wanting to leave since the beginning of the season, who's unhappy at the moment, and now Mbamba, obviously. There we go. So who was the best penalty taker the sport has ever seen? Okay, talking about Butler. That's fair. Okay, Selke's going to get his rest. Selke is definitely getting his rest now. Out for 2 to 3 weeks. That's a bugger. Get ready to learn Chinese. Quite possibly. Ni hao indeed. Catch22, welcome in, my dude. How are you? Hu Yin is quite a decent player to have. Hu Yin, yeah, he's not quite there with the way that we use quite attacking, even if it's fullbacks, but wingbacks at the moment. The attacking nature, he definitely needs to improve in certain areas, but he's a solid pickup that I've got a lot of hope for. So Adam says, if it's based on FM, talking about goalkeepers here, then Akinfeev and Ustari are the GOATs. I've forgotten about Oscar Ustari. Oh, what a player he was in FM. Akinfeev, absolutely. That, like, one of those kind of automatics for God knows how many editions. Eunice says, yesterday's Copa del Rey game, Barca versus Atleti, was crazy. What was the score? I don't know anything about it, I'll be honest. I watched the Villa game whilst I was editing the video that was released today, and then as soon as the game ended, it was head down into editing. So, Energy, Sebastian Frey, Champs legend Sebastian Frey, indeed. Paying My Taxes says, learning Chinese must be really difficult. There are tones which change the meaning of a word. I imagine that when you get used to it, it kind of makes sense, right? Right, Blue Lions. Welcome in, my dude. Just found you. How come your game looks so different? So, hi, I'm MustermannFM. The way that a lot of people here came across me was because I made skins. This is the Mustermann skin, which is a semi-attributeless skin for FM24. I only do semi-attributeless now, and that's why the game looks different. I've created the mods that you see on screen. So do I do any other videos outside of Twitch? I do indeed. If you can scroll down, you can also pop to the link here as well, and that's going to give you all the links to my YouTube, to my... I don't really use Instagram or TikTok Tactic, talk, tack, talk, tack, tack. I don't use that either. I'm not very good at the short form stuff. Zenergy says, this site is free to sign up. It contains a lot of old games and all the games from World Cups from 66 up to 22. Awesome. Football Balia. Yes. Yes, indeed. That is a very, very good site indeed. I may have been using that to get screenshots for videos. There are questionability about it, but yes. So obviously, I'm not endorsing it, but it's a very good website. I am endorsing it. I am absolutely endorsing it. Right, next game against Heidenheim. Big game for us. This is probably the last of our winnable games for a while. So Tubeck, Mausend, Müller, Bamba, SA, Stefanov, Borkel, Guy. Playing a 4-3-3, so we don't need him to man mark still. Let's see if we can play 2 good games in a row. A bold, bold hope. So Dorgo is down. Dorgo is down hurt now for Man United. So where is Dorgu playing? Is he playing at left back yet, or is he still being used in weird other positions on the pitch? I'm not going to say anything more. I'm going to trust the assistant manager, and we go with that there. So Musterman says you can watch Aston Villa versus Manchester United full match FA Cup 1956-57. The only full match preserved of the Busby Babes before Munich. Interesting. And a game where who was the goalkeeper? Who was the goalkeeper? Peter McParland absolutely took out the United goalkeeper. The goalkeeper had to come off the pitch because he'd broken his shoulder, but this was before substitutes. So they put an outfielder in goal. The keeper came back later on in the game and played as a striker. And United only lost that game narrowly. Sims can't quite make it. But Villa won. That's all that matters. All that matters. So let's ignore the fact that we essentially fouled our way to victory. So Dorgu's okay, fine. He's on the YouTube shorts like a motherfucker. I'm really not, am I? Let's face it. Look, Mar, there's like maybe 20 and none for a while. They've never quite just doesn't. I just can't. I can't find the thing that works right for me. I don't think. Good chance there for Heidenheim, blazed over. Right, Zenji says, I've watched a few games on there. It's good. It is indeed. Sewachul, Dorgu is on the pitch. I don't even think he knows what position. Positionless football, baby. Positionless football. It's reliving the Cruyff era. Right, Garrido on the edge of the area. Has to turn away from pressure, tries sending it out to Schiffel. He knocks it down for Hu Yin. Hu Yin sings it in. Sims, is he onside? I think he looked very offside. He looked very, very offside. He wasn't though.
Sims scores, Sims with no fear. Sims for Darmstadt, Sims with the winner. Sims scores if it's home or away. Maybe tomorrow, the good Lord knows you can play.
Ellis Sims, he's had a rotten season with injury, but he gets the start. Look at Hu Yin here. What a delightful ball. Lofted up to the far post. Ooh, beautiful stuff. Bert Troutman would never allow for such shenanigans. Bert Troutman most definitely would. Right, Garrido plays it in. Here's Brooks. Brooks trying to make it 2-0. He gets the shot off. Bergstrom parries. Linson can't turn it back towards goal, but pressure isn't gone. Brooks to Schiffel. Brooks tries swinging it in. Can't get it past the first man. Here's Maloney. A chance to get rid of it. He doesn't though. Linson picks it up. Linson. Oh, that cross was truly awful. Hu Yin to Garrido. You need to take lessons off Hu Yin, a man that doesn't necessarily have the attacking quality allegedly, but what a ball for that goal. What a ball. Some say foul, some say innovation. Sergio Ramos probably. Indeed. So Dorgu is left wing back now. Okay. Right, DM basis, 1-0 to Kilmarnock within 10 minutes. The Fergie era getting off to a great start. Oh man. I mean, Linson's in behind. Linson makes it 2-0. this will be ironic if this actually was offside. The one that I thought was offside wasn't. Nope. Here we go.
Stand, scoring like no tomorrow. Stand, the goals are here.
2-0. Blinson with his second goal in the last 3 games. Finally, maybe this role behind the striker on his own as an advanced playmaker is more beneficial to him. It's a good first touch. It created the angle. The keeper was not really in position to react. An easy finish in the end. We drew 0-0 with Heidenheim last time out in what was a truly awful game at our place as Nebel fires over. 1-0 down to Kilmarnock, man. That is not good. Again, like, as we've said, it takes a while to get your ideas going and stuff. And, you know, this is essentially the same squad and the same ideas that Clement had. But, yeah, man, that's bad. That's bad. Right, Aaron Dinchy, great touch. Great first touch to get in behind. Forces the save. Right, Eunice, I missed your previous message. It ended 4-4. Atleti led 2-0 in 10 minutes. Barca came back 4-2. Atleti came back in the last minutes. That does sound crazy. That does sound crazy indeed. Look, Mark, is that the Eminem version of the song? It's the find whatever version of the song you can that is the worst version. It's that. Right, hung them in. Oh my god, a Brexit ball tackle from Dorgu. We're going to get a red. So, are you saying that Dorgu's been sent off? Or, yes, red for Dorgu confirmed. His position is now in the showers. Fair enough. So, like, again, give us some context. Was it like an over the ball challenge? Was it what? Yeah, what happened? I'm keen to know. We're doing the same thing again. We're saying that nobody's booked, which is fine. No changes there, which is fine. So we will just do a round of I have faith or go and prove it. Let's see if we can, how we do in the early stage of the second half. Okay, so by the time I'd read the comment that it was 1-0 to Kilmarnock, it's now 2-0 to Kilmarnock. Oh dear. Ferguson out, right? Right, Rich is in. Welcome in, Rich. How you doing, my dude? He's pleased to have had Footballia shared. Love old matches. Have a good look at this when I have time. I mean, isn't that the risk though, Rich? Now that you've got access to all those games, it's just going to be reliving Sunderland's glory days from now until the end of forever. Right, early on the second half, we probably want to adjust Hu Yin, but let's see what's happening there. Thank you for the hydrate, by the way, Blue Lions.
Stand, scoring like no tomorrow. Stand, the goals are here.
There we go, Garrido. Garrido saw I was mid-sip and just was like, fuck it, I'm having this. Drilled low, 3-0. We've got to feel pretty safe now. And as we're going to feel pretty safe now, let's get him on ease off tackles. So I expect we're going to bring on Guy in a moment. But I'm also very aware that Guy's only just back from yet another injury. So I don't want to put him out too early. Klosterman into Palistri. It's a lovely ball. Oh, Dinchy misses another big chance again. Oh, Dinchy. Blue Lions, thank you for trying to waterboard me now. Hopefully it will bring another goal. Right. Here we go. Back to Sims. Schiffel finds Hu Yin. He's got loads of space in front of him. He's going to drive into it. Sends a cross in. Skitter with the header. Nathan Skitter makes it 4.
Stand, scoring like no tomorrow. Stand, the goals are here.
Hu Yin coming up big. That's the second assist. There's another glorious cross. Nathan Skitter gets there. That's surely game over. And right, so I was talking about the Leipzig game earlier, where actually I felt that the scoreline was very, very harsh. We did a really, really good job of restricting Leipzig to only 4 shots on target, from which they scored 4 goals. And I imagine that Heidenheim are feeling very much the same way right now. They do not deserve to be 4-0 down by any stretch of the imagination. But that is time to bring on Guy, who has returned from injury. So we can stop these off tackles. And we're also going to look at giving some game time to Stefanov and Tubek. Yeah, that will do. Let's tell Tubek specifically that I'm expecting him to perform. And he says, nah, I don't care. Bless him. Right, for 15 minutes now, we'll look to bring on Muller as well on his return from injury. The last change, surely we get Esser out there. We're trying to get Esser some goals. It's been a while. He's not had the greatest of seasons, so he might be the next candidate to be sold for a big, big profit. I think his value was up around the 20 million mark, and he's not really had a great season. The step up looks to be a little bit too much for him. But we've pretty much seen the game out here now. Just a minute left. 4-0. Can they make it 4-1? Grawler's tackled though, so Garrido picks it up, finds Guy. Guy's loads of space. Is he going to send in, get an assist? Stefanov rises, heads it over. Yeah, it's been a rough game for Heidenheim. Let me just pop this up, what the stats are like. Yeah, we've generated less than 1 XG. We definitely feel like we've robbed them a little bit here. Right, so Bill's just said that Olympiacos just beat AEK 6-0 in the semi-final. That is a thumping. My word. My word. So Dorgu tackled Hutchinson with his studs so high the Vietnamese players are scared. And you know Vietnamese football players are notorious for vicious tackles. Incredible. Incredible. That's one way to introduce yourself to the league, right? You know, you've had a couple of nervy moments, you've been played in some weird positions, you set up Ipswich's opening goal, and then you foul the fuck out of someone. Right, 4-0, that'll do.
Wait for SV Darmstadt, spam the golden motion. You can feel it every week. Mustard rejoices, free your mind and join us. Gonna win the fucking league.
Right, that puts 5 points between us and Gladbach. Gladbach have a game in hand. 7 points ahead of Schalke, same situation there. Only 2 points. Only 2 points off Leipzig. However, for any feeling that we might get carried away, we now have to play Eintracht Frankfurt next, followed by Stuttgart, I believe. Yep, so it's Frankfurt, then Stuttgart for our next 2 games. Big. I strongly doubt we're picking up points. We then follow that up though. We've only got really Leverkusen and Bayern in the run after that are particularly like hopeless fixtures. So I feel like we've got to be pretty happy with that so far. So I do apologise. Alas, TV hadn't been invented for most of Sunderland's glory days. I mean, what? So, I mean, my relatively limited knowledge of Sunderland is that the 70s were pretty rich period. Now, as a Villa fan, our glory days were the 90s. Sadly, unfortunately, that's the 1890s. So TV definitely wasn't invented for our heyday. Ipswich have equalised. Oh my, incredible! I suppose that's what happens when you're down to 10 men. Jaden Philogene with a brace as well. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. I really hope he does well at Ipswich. He was so good at Hull. It's a shame that when he came back to Villa, he just couldn't quite get himself a spot in that team. When he did play, he did look a little bit out of his depth. So I really, really hope it works out for me at Ipswich. So the earliest full Sunderland game on that site is the 1973 FA Cup final against Leeds. That's a pretty good game to have on there, to be fair. We're winning the league. We are, Eunice. We are. We're only 14 points off, to be fair. You know, there's 27 available. It is plausible that all those teams above us go on a losing streak. I believe. Right, let's have a look at the players that we want to get fit. It's those ones. Right, 90 minutes. Guy will go for 60. Rashidi for 60 as well. Bamba to play the full game. Muller 45. Bernsch, Uda the full game. Davis the full game. And let's get both SA and Forkel on there. So I mean they're not all going to play in the game, but they're in the what we've set, but they are in the squad now. So should get something just to kind of maintain that fitness. So Rich has that final on DVD. Beautiful stuff. Do you have it on VHS as well? Is that like one of those games where like it came out on VHS, so you bought it, then you had to get it on DVD because VHS it's not completely what's the term for when something becomes out of date? Outdated. We'll just go outdated. Because that is a classic, let's face it. It is worth having on Betamax. Did you get it on Betamax as well? So I'm trying to think, did I have any Aston Villa Betamaxes? I definitely had a couple of VHSs, mainly like the season reviews and things like that. Don't think I had any on Betamax. It's a shame. It's a bit of a shame, eh? Right, Ladislav, our massive fan is in. Welcome in, my dude. How are you, sir? Now, firstly, I would like to say that DM Bassist discovered something quite interesting today that you might be interested in. Let me put the music back on. And that is that when we moved to Darmstadt, we added some leagues. And because we added some leagues, Ladislav Almasi is now in the save. Now 31. He's just turned 31. Scored. He's moved to Fastavslin. Scored 29 goals in 39 games for them. So there we go. And it's out for 5 months. Eesh, bless him. That's gonna fuck his development. With Selka retiring at the end of the season, we need a big man. It's yeah. It's it could be happening. Right, Uda is ill. Send him home. Don't let him infect the rest of the club. And yeah, so it's derby game against Frankfurt. We played really well against Frankfurt last time, I recall. So yeah, I do apologise, by the way. I am trying to catch up as much as I possibly can with chat. I am, as usual, behind. So when's it dropping on Spotify? Never. It's bad enough that I put you guys through it. So Adam, you assume I still have the files for the Maria Ham sound clips? Channel point redeems, perhaps? Oh, could be something we do. I mean, one of my biggest issues there is that I make these all far too long for like 30 seconds, and that can be quite difficult, I imagine. I'll look into it. I think I've got some of them still. You know, were you here when we were talking about it maybe last week, the week before? I have a tendency of deleting things when I no longer need them, because I don't like hoarding stuff on my PC. I like my PC to be really, really clear. Like even with videos, so I have a process where videos, they get archived on another drive for a month in their full form, so all the files with them. Then once a month has passed, all the files except the actual episode itself are deleted. And then we've now got to the point where once it's a year, they're gone from the PC completely. I get very, very, very anal over this thing, and I'm not really sure why. Seems completely unnecessary, really, but you know, just it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right having it just sitting there taking up space. SA, Forkle, Stefanov and Bamba. We stick with the same squad. We definitely stick with the same squad. Right, Rich says, aside from the FA Cup in 1973, we spent most of the decade in the second division. What, in the 70s? Really? I thought you were... Is it really just that cup win has... Because it's kind of a thing of legend. I genuinely thought you were... Actually, I suppose because Man City were quite good in the 70s, weren't they, actually? Man City were the kind of... Out of the teams that weren't expected to be good in the era, they're the one. So I suppose, fair enough. Maybe I'm just getting mixed up. Right, home game against rivals. This is obviously a let's talk about fans. So we'll talk about fans. We'll say we've got faith, and then we're going to absolutely destroy Eintracht Frankfurt. Definitely. They're not going to score from kickoff. No fear about that at all. See? Told you. I knew it. Dan Basis says, well, you lasted 20 minutes before turning the football off. Longer than I'd anticipated. Dan Basis, the rest of the season is a free hit, right? Like, you don't want to watch Ferguson ball. Just enjoy the next 6 months without even finding out what Rangers do. It'll be the most blissful 6 months there can possibly be. So Rich says best days were from about 1890 to 1910. Then the 1930s. Andre Brooks makes it 1-0. Does he? Does he? Does he? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. I'm not actually sure what was being checked because it didn't look like there were any questions there. Oh, okay. So Sims perhaps was peeling off, was in an offside before. To the pass to Brooks, Sims was offside, but once Sims shot, Brooks was on, right? I think. Who knows? Doesn't matter. They didn't show the lines or anything, so it's all inconsequential. Right, it's Liverpool 1, Newcastle 0. Boo, Sobersley. I mean, Liverpool have won the league anyway, but you know, you want there to be some level of competition up until the end of the season, right? Linson across. Brooks can't get there. Comes to Forbes. Quick on the counter attack. Forbes going all the way. No, he's not. Schiffel tackles, sends it long. Sims loses out on the header, but we managed to keep possession. Skitter now plays it through. Ellis, Sims, whoa! It's a lovely ball through the lines from Skitter. Sims, unfortunately, on his weaker foot, could only force the save, and it's a corner. Corner gathered by Panda. Scratch that. You think that? So he's grown 2 inches. Oh, right, Al Massi. Right, scratch that. No, he's not. I thought he was 6'4". I thought he was 6'4" as well. Is he actually 6'6"? Shows you. I mean, literally, we were only looking at a moment ago, and I hadn't even noticed. Still, big boy. That's all. All we need to know is he's a big boy. Potentially our future Selka. Skitter plays it out wide to Hu Yin. Unfortunately, there's too much air on the ball, and Forbes can get to it. So we have to move inside to Guido. Guido finds Brooks. Brooks touches it on Sims. And that's a goal.
Sims scores, Sims with no fear. Sims for Darmstadt, Sims with the winner. Sims scores if it's home or away. Maybe tomorrow the good Lord knows you can play.
Yes, Sims. Boom. So, I mean, I was fully intending on putting Selke back into the lineup for this game had he not been injured. But maybe this is the chance for Sims. He had the injury problem at the beginning of the season, which has then restricted his chances. but he's starting to score. That's his second goal this stream. That brings him up to 3 for the season in something like, I'm guessing now he must be around 350, 400 minutes. So not a bad return overall, especially considering how little we score this season. But can Frankfurt do something? An immediate response. Shot was a little bit weak from Larson, an easy gather for Sihinovic. Now here's a corner. Faris Kaibi swings it into Jens, but Wimmer gets there. Hugard gathers the second ball. Hugard into Serkati. It's a good save from Sihinovic. Let's ask the guys to focus a little bit. So I also wanted to thank you again for the Atlanta Inter advice. No worries at all. I hope it's helpful. I will give a little bit of context about that as well, guys. So the video I released earlier is the beginning of a new series called Counterclass. It's based on the Masterclass by Coach's Voice, where I'm going to be looking at specific games like the bogey teams, your nemesis teams, the games that no matter what you do, you always seem to lose, and see how, see how you can make adjustments for individual games while still maintaining your tactical identity. And the first episode, we focused on a matchup from this very save whilst we were still at Mariehamn against Ilves. But for future episodes, I want your saves. So Continental License Patreons will be able to submit their save files, and I will go through that very same process. Now, it's not reasonable to expect you to wait until I release a video, potentially 3 weeks, 4 weeks down the line, for my response back. So the way it happens is every evening I will go through one submission in the thing, and I will feed back to you immediately. So that way you get a response straight away, and then when it comes to editing videos, I can pick and choose, and we can maybe look at 2 or 3 within an episode and so forth. So yeah, if that's something that you're interested in as well, actually that link to the video probably isn't as useful as the link to Patreon, which explains it all in a little bit more detail as well. What a 45 minutes. Absolutely sensational stuff there. 2-0 against Frankfurt is massive. Are we going to make any changes? We're not. We're just going to leave it as it is. We will let Frankfurt score a goal in about the 50th minute, and then we will panic afterwards. That's how we go. That's how we go. Ladislav, our massive fan, suggesting we could go with Papi. Indeed. Could you check Robert Uldrikis? Also a tall physical player. He is indeed. He's a bit older though, isn't he, than Almaty? I thought. Actually, he might not be. He starts the game around 26, 27, so he's probably around the same age. Maybe 31, maybe 32, maybe 33. We'll have a look at him. Skitters away. Skitter sends the cross in. Sims.
Sims scores, Sims with no fear. Sims falls down to Sims with the winner. Sims scores if it's home or away. Maybe tomorrow the good Lord knows you can play.
Nil against Frankfurt. What on earth is this? Kaibi with the corner. Sends it into the near post. Wimmer again gets there, but we can't deal with the second ball. Hugard shot it, saved by Sihinovic. A little bit cheeky to be able to catch that. Right, from a momentum perspective, it hasn't necessarily shifted majorly in there. Like, yeah, there might be a 5-minute period, but until we see like 2 or 3 bars in a row that are in Frankfurt's favour, we got to feel reasonably good. Skitter plays it to Sims, who's on a hat-trick now. Nürnberger. Linson tries playing it over the top. Can't get there, but it falls to Brooks anyway. Brooks skips inside, beats Linson. It's blocked. Spanberger. Nürnberger, it's 4-0.
Stand, scoring like no tomorrow. Don't stand, the goals are here.
What on earth is going on here? We have spent the majority of the season being unable to score. And we've scored 8 goals in the last 2 games, of which 4 of them are against top 5 side and our rivals. Maybe the rivalry thing is part of it there. Jens now on the ball. Do Frankfurt have a response? They find Johnston. Here's Kaibi. Massive hole. Hugard. They're just... That's some big chances they've they've scuffed as well. Right, time for some changes. Those changes are going to look a little bit like the return of Rashidi, the return of Mbamba. Yeah, just the two. Just the two. Try to see out the result, Mbamba. A throw-in now. Nürnberger to Linson. Nürnberger plays it back to Mbamba. Schmidt comes forward. Schmidt, smack it, Schmidt. He doesn't. He finds Rashidi very, very smartly. It's a good save from Panda. I think, in fact, we've won the game, right? And I know that's a dangerous thing to say, but we've won the game, so I'll wait until the end of this highlight before judging. Beautiful foul from Plinson. Yeah, we've won the game, so wouldn't it be nice to get an absolute thunder bastard wonder goal? I think that seems fair, right? Can we do this with shoot less often is part of their instructions. It's not on a ball playing defender. Everyone's going to get shoot more often. Just if we can score like top bins from 30 yards, just to really rub it in, that would be nice. Sure, it might mean that we give the ball away. Maybe we concede a goal in the last few moments. Maybe we concede 2 goals in the last few moments. So let's make you an attacking midfielder on support so that you can shoot more often. Shoot more often. Shoot more often. Linson is going to make way for Essay. No, we're keeping Sims on because he's on a hat-trick. We're going to bring off Brooks because he's tired. And that's going to see Mousen on. Mousen scored an absolute beautiful goal from like 25 yards towards the end of last season. So quite happy with bringing him on for that sake. Rangers have scored. There we go. The comeback is on. The dream is alive and football is back. It is. Look, Mark, if we signed Al Massi, we could have a song that goes something like Ladislav, baby Al Massi, no more. We certainly could. I mean, we'd have to make use of Al Massi in there somewhere, especially as it rhymes with me. Mbamba finds Mousen. Mousen finds Essay. Essay.
Oh, an essay. He's so goddamn clean. I told him score a goal, and that's exactly where he's been. And he's just perfect for SV Darmstadt. I told him score a goal, and that's exactly where he's at.
It's 5-0 against Eintracht Frankfurt. What the absolute fuck? This is ridiculous. Marquinhos loses out to Essay. Essay plays it back to Sahinovic. There are 5 minutes left, roughly. I expect maybe they'll probably be close to 10 with injury time, because they're going to have to add like 3 hours injury time just for all the goals we've scored, right? Essay shoots from distance. That I thought that was going to be the wonder goal moment we were waiting for. Al Massi is 11 months younger than Pappy. There we go. Is the same Silo TV show Sims? I don't understand that sentence, I'm afraid, Eunice. Nice touch with the lighter. It's got a use. I've stopped smoking a number of years ago, so there we go. Goal back for Frankfurt, and the goals seem to come largely from Sahinovic just falling to the floor before the shot. There we go. So I need to get some use out of the lighter, right? Who cares? Who cares? I mean, yes, it was a really weird and bad piece of goalkeeping, but we're 5-1 up. We're 5-1 up. Crazy. Maguire. I'm guessing that means that United have gone 3-2 up. Interesting. Just use Do Hast as the song for Al Massi if you sign him. Al Massi. Oh, Zendy's going for replacing Hast with Massi. We could. Why are we so sure Al Massi will sign? He's so ass, at least in real life. He's a big boy. Davy Selke. was so ass you would have thought potentially, but has been a legend. Well.
Wait for SV Darmstadt, slam the golden motion. You can feel it every week. Mustard rejoices, free your mind and join us. Gonna win the fucking league.
That is obscene. So that puts us ahead of Leipzig. They have a game in hand. That brings us within 2 points of Frankfurt. I mean, we're just 3 points off Stuttgart, who we play next. Stuttgart and Leipzig have games in hand. We are still we're 4 points ahead of Gladbach, who have been held to another draw, which is marvellous. Ladislav Armasi, they reckon that he would be a terrific signing. Consistent, adaptable, enjoys big matches. Needs to learn the language. No injury concerns there. They are saying he is not for sale. Because he's just signed a new contract. So that might be something to worry about. But also, like, come the summer, that'll change. That will have changed. We can soften him up if needs be. Pardon me. Right, we've got a international break coming up now. What is the situation with reserve fixtures? There are none from this point onwards, so we are just going to get those in. We do them on Tuesdays. A very, very high-tech system here, right? Where I go through and just take teams alphabetically down the line. So I know I don't even necessarily look to see if the names are changing. I'm just kind of like, I've done the third one, so now let's do the fourth name. Let's do the fifth name next, and so forth. Really, really important system. Foolproof. But whilst we've got this reserve team, obviously they're not in an active league. And so just being able to do things to make sure we can keep players fit is great. And it's even more advantageous considering that without it being an active league, we can choose what day these games are. So we can actually fit it around our calendar. Which is perhaps a little bit on the exploitative side, I must confess. And look, we've got Koblenz twice there. Does it really matter at the end of the day? Lippstadt, Memmingen. What a name, Memmingen. Beautiful stuff. Late May, that's probably enough, right? Reutlingen, we can end there, that's fine. Hopefully that will keep us nice and fit. Right, he made him essay that goal. He made that game look easy. Essay, beautiful. That's my favourite song, is the essay one. It's the most modern I'm ever going to get, Jabbets, let's be honest. I'm genuinely proud of myself for knowing a song from 2024. That's how our massive fan says. It's the most normal Bundesliga match. That's one word for it for sure. It's a great win. What a win. Rhythm is a dancer. Oh, Massey is the answer. You can feel it. You can feel it in the air. How about that, eh? How about that? Oh, okay. Right. I'm going to make an executive decision. Am I? Am I going to make an executive decision? I am, yes. Maybe. 36, 13, 20, 27, 4, 11, 18. Yes, I am. So, the plan was that we are going to get through this season this week. So we got it up to a nice point on Monday. And then we've split this in two. We've got 8 games remaining. We're currently in the middle of a international break, which seems like a good point to break things off, ready for tomorrow to be the finale. So a reminder, first and foremost, is that we will be streaming tomorrow from 6 p.m. Because on Friday night, I'm going to be over with Tony Jameson doing some Moneyball stuff. So hopefully come back. Oh, my word. Oh, RJ's in. RJ, welcome. Firstly, lovely to see you, my dude. I hope you're doing well. I'm very sorry because I am just essentially priming us to finish the stream now here. Yes, it's okay. Just wanted to say hello indeed. Stopping the stream on a winning streak. You were just asking for a stinker tomorrow. I am indeed, Ladislav Almaty fan, most definitely. But it kind of makes sense if we start the we go through the thing, and it just feels right to me. So, dear bassist, we are ending the stream indeed. I'd like to say a huge thank you to everyone who's been around. That's awesome. Thank you. We will be back tomorrow, non-usual evening, 6 p.m. Finishing. Good. Okay, look, Mark, beautiful. I didn't notice the minigame. I do apologize. We'll get that minigame run now. I can snooze and everything as well, which is cool. Let's head on over. Which minigame are we going for? We're going to go for... How about a little bit of Missing 11? So we're not finished yet. Stick around for an extra few minutes or so as we play a round of Missing 11. I'll explain how Missing 11 works, right? This is a team from a game somewhere in the history of the world. Oh, okay, Lukmar's not a fan of Missing 11. So the other option we've got for tonight is Guess the Club. Would you like us to do Guess the Club instead? Which is going to reveal squares. I think they're the only two I've got remaining for this evening. Now you're kidding. Okay, and Zerachul likes 11. More chance for Zerachul to get himself up the thing. Right, okay, so we're doing Missing 11. This is a game from some point in history. In a short while, I'm going to reveal the team that we're looking at. Your job is to guess who was in the starting 11. Those numbers above a player's name is how many letters are in their surname. Just chuck your answers in the chat. It will automatically reveal. Spelling needs to be correct. Capital letters doesn't. You could do it all uppercase, all lowercase, a mixture will be absolutely fine. If a player has an accent in the name, you don't need to include it. So if you've got someone like, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head right now, but maybe they have one of those grave accents on an E. You can include it, you don't need to include it. It's all absolutely fine either way. So without any further ado, let's reveal today's matchup. And we are looking for the Senegal team that played France in the World Cup, the 31st of May, 2002. So Ladislav Almaty fan tried to guess before it was revealed with Mahrez because he saw a load of short names, which is absolutely fair. And now the guesses they're pouring in. We've got a guess for Diouf. It is indeed Diouf up front. We've got Kalilou Fadiga on the left wing. There was no Koulibaly, sadly. There was no Mane either. Is there a Diop? There was a Diop. Was there a Diatta? Was there a Daf? There was indeed. Was there a Coley? Was there a Coley? I don't think there was a Coley. There wasn't a Coley. We've got Tony Silva. We don't have an Ayew, unfortunately. We don't have a Jackson for sure. Aliou Cisse was in that defensive line. Absolutely. Someone's picked up on Bouba Diop as well. And Salif Diao. And Njai. You absolutely steamrolled your way through that. Absolutely incredible stuff. Now, the only thing I would point out is there is a maximum of 5 points per player. So, Zerachul has gone on an absolute tear. If somebody just adds the names that he's already said, they might end up picking up points because Zerachul has taken all his points that he possibly can. And so Ladislav Almaty fan is on there. There we go. That is almost certainly going to cover it. There's a I'm just going to leave Ladislav Almaty fan to it because it would still be the same rules for him as well. So even naming all those, there's a potential chance that he isn't. We're going to just end up in a chain. No, cool. Right, marvelous work there, guys. That is where we're going to end it. Same thing as usual. We are going to head out on YouTube first. So a massive thank you everyone who came by. Hope you can drop by tomorrow as well. If you're looking for a little bit more of a fix of Musterman after this stream, there is a link in the channel there for today's video as well. Really, really worth. Oh, I think it's worth checking out. I'm quite